First hearing in the lawsuit against Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe taking place today.
Shannon Sharpe in that $50 million lawsuit accusing him of a Jane Doe.
Finding himself in the middle of a $50 million assault lawsuit.
Shannon Sharpe just settled a $50 million lawsuit, then his accuser quit OnlyFans? Yup, the timing is wild, and the internet is on fire. Hit subscribe if you're into real receipts, big scandals, and celebrity chaos, because this tea is hotter than ever. Gabriella Zuniga, 21, filed a $50 million civil lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe in April 2025 under the alias Jane Doe. The lawsuit alleged battery and infliction of emotional distress during what both parties now acknowledged was a tumultuous relationship. According to court filings, Zuniga claimed she met Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles in 2023 when she was 20, and they had a nearly 2-year relationship. She alleged Sharpe assaulted her in October 2024 and again in January 2025. Now, Shannon Sharpe is 57 years old, a Hall of Famer, and was building a media empire with his Club Shay Shay podcast and ESPN appearances. His attorney claimed the accuser had targeted Sharpe, knowing he was on the brink of signing a multi-million-dollar deal for his popular podcast, reportedly valued at over $100 million.
That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
But here's where it gets messy. Just days before this lawsuit hit the news, Shannon accidentally live-streamed himself having sex on Instagram. Yes, really. Talk about bad timing. Shannon Sharpe, through his attorney Lanny Davis, categorically denied all accusations, with his legal team branding the case as a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. Now here's where the story gets really interesting, because apparently this wasn't Shannon's first attempt to make this go away. Shannon Sharpe's lawyer confirmed he offered his rape accuser at least $10 million to resolve the matter before she filed the $50 million suit. His attorney, Lanny J. Davis, said Sharpe was engaged in good faith negotiations with his accuser to avoid a public spectacle. But Gabriella wasn't having it. She turned down that $10 million and went public with the full $50 million lawsuit. Talk about shooting your shot. Davis described the lawsuit as a shakedown and claimed, in my opinion, this is a classic definition of blackmail.
If anyone wants to look at the definition of blackmail, interview 1,000 people who've been in blackmail situations who pay the money when they're totally innocent.
He accused the timing of being strategic because of Shannon's upcoming deals. The case dragged on for months, causing major damage to Shannon's career. Following the lawsuit, Shannon announced that he and ESPN had mutually agreed to pause their working relationship until the start of the NFL preseason. He also had to postpone his nightcap tour with Chad Johnson until 2026. But then, in July 2025, everything changed. Attorney Tony Busby announced the civil lawsuit had been resolved following what he described as lengthy and respectful negotiations. The lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it can no longer be refiled. In an unusual moment of compromise, both parties agreed that Sharpe and Zuniga had shared a long-term, consensual but tumultuous relationship. Neither party admitted wrongdoing, and the settlement terms weren't disclosed. But honey, we can do the math. Now here's where this story goes from legal drama to full viral moment, because the timing of what happened next was suspicious as hell. Gabriella Zuniga announced she's retiring from OnlyFans just one day after settling her $50 million lawsuit with Shannon Sharpe. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. One day after. The settlement was announced on Friday, and by Saturday, she was posting her retirement message. In her Instagram post, she wrote, "Today I have decided to retire from OF. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever." Now, for those who don't know, OnlyFans is a subscription-based platform where creators earn money by providing exclusive content to their fans, ranging from fitness and music to more sexually explicit material. It's not exactly a career you retire from at 22, unless you've got a very good reason. The internet immediately connected the dots. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a woman who just secured her bag and said, "I'm out." Sources close to the deal allege that Sharpe was forced to sell off half of his podcasting empire, including stakes in Nightcap and other high-value digital assets, just to fund the payout. Y'all, the internet had a field day with this announcement. One user wrote, "That girl got rich and said she never got to work again, checkmatey." Another user echoed that sentiment, writing, "I'm actually happy for her. She saw an easy opportunity and took it." A third quipped, "That settlement just hit her bank account. The numbers must be good. That's why she's retiring. Ain't mad at it." But not everyone was celebrating. One outraged fan said, "Shannon Sharpe settled with that kid over them sexual assault allegations, and she released a statement saying she's retired from OnlyFans? I'm just so disappointed in Shannon. He let that white kid get away with the oldest trick in the game, and now she's rich." Another user offered a different perspective, specifically calling Sharpe's behavior so disappointing and saying, "He could have fed so many black families in need with this money, but now it's in her hands." One particularly brutal comment read, "Giving her 20 mil doesn't seem like the biggest sign of innocence," with not a shred of sympathy for Sharpe. Some users expressed frustration, suggesting that Sharpe's decision to settle rewarded what they called extortion or satanic degeneracy. Others noted the irony of Zuniga retiring from OnlyFans immediately after the settlement, with one user humorously remarking that she was hanging up her jersey. The divide in reactions really shows how complicated this whole situation is. Some people see a woman who secured her financial future. Others see someone who exploited the legal system. Let's talk about what this has cost Shannon Sharpe beyond just the settlement money, because honey, the professional damage has been extensive. Shannon lost his gig on First Take with Stephen A. Smith, and plans of launching his own podcast network fell through. We're talking about a man who was at the peak of his media career, having to step back from everything. Stephen A. Smith, Shannon's longtime friend and ESPN colleague, weighed in on the sad situation and said he was hopeful and prayerful that Sharpe would weather the storm. "In my perfect world, Sharpe moves on, and somehow, someway, we find this all to be false," Smith said. Meanwhile, Sharpe hasn't been able to regain the momentum he had prior to this incident. Though he hasn't publicly addressed the lawsuit since the settlement, fans have noticed significant changes to his business model, including new personalities appearing on his Nightcap podcast and rumored investor shakeups behind the scenes. This man went from being one of the hottest media personalities in sports to having to rebuild his entire career. The settlement might have made the legal problems go away, but the professional consequences are still very real. At 22 years old, if you let Shannon Sharpe tell it, Gabriella has mastered the art of what many are calling extortion. She's reportedly living a dream while Shannon is dealing with the fallout of what many consider the most expensive mistake of his career. This whole situation raises some serious questions about celebrity culture, legal settlements, and the power of social media, y'all. First, let's talk about settlement culture. Settlements in high-profile cases do not necessarily imply guilt or liability, as they are often pursued to avoid lengthy and costly legal battles. But when someone retires from their job the day after getting paid, it definitely looks a certain way. The timing is what's got everyone talking. If this was really about justice and healing, would someone immediately retire and talk about new projects and exciting next chapters? Or does this look more like someone who got exactly what they wanted financially? But on the flip side, we have to acknowledge that both parties agreed that they had a long-term, consensual but tumultuous relationship. The legal system worked the way it's supposed to. Both sides negotiated and came to an agreement they could live with. The lack of transparency in this case has left room for public interpretation, and that's exactly what we're seeing play out on social media. Without all the facts, people are filling in the blanks with their own assumptions. What's clear is that social media changed everything about this case. The initial Instagram Live incident, the public nature of the lawsuit, and now the viral OnlyFans retirement, every part of this has been amplified by social media in ways that wouldn't have happened even 5 years ago. At the end of the day, y'all, this story is about way more than just Shannon Sharpe and Gabriella Zuniga. It's about how quickly careers can be destroyed, how powerful social media has become in shaping narratives, and how expensive it can be to make certain kinds of mistakes in the public eye. The case has been dismissed with prejudice, neither party admitted wrongdoing, and both sides have moved on. But the internet never forgets, and the timing of that OnlyFans retirement is going to follow both of them forever. Whether you think this was justice served or the most expensive shakedown in entertainment history, one thing is clear: this case is going to be referenced for years as an example of how quickly things can go wrong in the social media age. What do y'all think? Was this justice, or was Shannon Sharpe played? Do you think the timing of Gabriella's OnlyFans retirement was suspicious, or is she just a smart businesswoman who secured her future? Let me know in the comments, because I need to hear your takes on this wild situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity tea.